Hi, this is Miss Pellegrin, and today you did your warm-up on your personal whiteboard. So we're going to go over those answers. We were changing mixed numbers to improper fractions. We are going to be working a lot with fractions in lessons 11 and 12. And so we need to refresh our memory on how to be able to use things like mixed numbers. And they have to be, as I said, improper fraction when we're using them in math. So 2 times 4 gives me 8 plus 1 gives me 9, and we keep the denominator the same. 3 times 3 plus 1 is 9 over 3. 3 times 4 is 12 plus 3 is 15. Keep your denominator, and then 2 times 2 plus 1 is 5 over the denominator of 2. Go ahead and clear your whiteboards. Today we're going to be looking at lesson number 11. Which is on page S.51. And so go ahead and pause the video and get to that page. Okay, so our goals today is that we're going to be looking at ratio tables and ratio reasoning to compute unit rates. We talked about the fact that unit rates means there's a denominator of 1. With ratios of fractions in the context of measured quantities such as recipes, lengths, areas, and speed. Okay, so don't copy this table yet. I will give you some time in a moment. During their last workout, Izzy ran 2 1/4 miles in 15 minutes, and her friend Julia ran 3 1/4 miles in 3 3/4 miles in 25 minutes. Each girl thought she was faster based on their last run, which is correct. Use any approach to find the solution. So one of the solutions that you could have used is you could have set up a table. So we have both girls. We have Izzy, and then we have Julia. In Izzy's, it said for 15 minutes she's going to run 2 1/4 miles. So we know the miles is dependent on our time. And so we have time in minutes. So if you were doing it in minutes, that was okay. So for 15 minutes, she did 2 1/4 miles. If you wanted to convert it to hours, then 15 over 60 was equal to 1/4. So let's ignore the hours for just a second. In minutes, in our time in minutes, so they were increasing 15 minutes. So to go from 15 to 30, they had to multiply by 2. And so therefore, every 15 minutes, she's going 2 1/4 miles. So she increased 15 minutes, she had to go 2 1/4 miles. So 2 1/4 miles, another 15 minutes, she's going another 2 1/4 miles. So they're adding that together. 2 and 2 gives me 4. 1/4 plus 1/4 is 2/4, which simplifies to that 4 1/2 that we have right here. So then we increased another 15 minutes. So we were going another, so 2 1/4 plus 2 1/4 plus another 15 minutes, meaning I'm going another 2 1/4. So it's 2, 4, 6, and 1, 2, 3. So 6 3/4 is where they're getting the next amount. So another 15 minutes, meaning I'm adding another 2 1/4. And I keep going back to 2 1/4 so that we're not dealing with fractions or denominators that are not the same. So, because if you added 1/4, 4.5 plus 2 1/4, then your denominators wouldn't be the same. You would have to make common denominators. So 2, 4, 6, 8, and then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 4/4, which gives me 9. So we keep continuing the table in that same way over and over and over again. Okay, and so go ahead. We're doing the exact same thing over on Julia's side. You're adding 3/4 plus 3 3 3/4 plus 3 3/4 each time until you're getting all of your distance in miles. So I'm going to give you a moment. Go ahead, pause the video, take about 5 minutes to go ahead and copy those two tables down. If when you read this problem you saw miles in minutes and you immediately thought, I wonder how many miles per minute that she went, you could also attempt that problem or do the problem in that way, and that's actually kind of where we're going with that. So I'm just going to scoot this table out of the way now that you've gotten it drawn. Okay. And so we're going to look at it in that way. We're talking about miles per minute. Okay, so she's going 2 1/4 miles in 15 minutes. So per 15 minutes. So for every 15 minutes. Okay, and so when you do that, you're going to see that you have a mixed number. You need to change to an improper fraction. So 2 times 4 plus 1 is 9/4 divided by 15, and we can put that whole number over 1. And then you see division, and if you recall from 6th grade, when you are doing division of fractions, you have to keep, change, and flip. So we're going to keep it as 9/4. Change it to multiplication and flip that fraction. So 9 times 1 is 9, and 4 times 15 is 60, and we need to simplify it. 3 will go into 9 3 times, and 3 will go into 60 20 times. So it was miles in minutes. So this is the miles per minute. So we have 3/20 mile per minute. And we should have gone ahead and said that was for Izzy. And so for Julia, we would do the same thing. 3 3/4 divided by 25 minutes. Okay, we're going to change it. 3 times 4 is 12, plus 3 is 15/4 divided by 25 over 1. Keep, change, flip. So keep, change, and flip. And it's always a good idea to show all of those steps. So 15 times 1 is 15. 4 times 25 is 100. So 5 will go into both of those. They end in 5 or 0. So 15 divided by 5 is 3. 100 divided by 5 is 20. So we're still getting 3/20 miles per minute. So they're actually going at the same speed. even though they're giving us two different fractions two different times, they're going the exact same speed. And if we look back at our table that we wrote, drag this over a little, you can see that at 75 minutes on both, they're going the same distance, 11 miles and a fourth, 11 and a fourth miles here as well. So which girl went faster? Neither of the girls went faster. They went the exact same speed. Okay, so I'm going to erase this work and we're going to look back at that table. Okay, so looking back at that table, we didn't talk about the hours. So in hours, so we were told how many minutes per minute. However, a lot of times you are looking at it per hour, and you're welcome to do that as well. So 15, which was the time in minutes, per 60 minutes, so in 60 minutes in an hour. So 1/4 of an hour is how long it would take her to do that 2 1/4 miles. So 30 over 60 is half an hour. So half an hour for 4 1/2. 3/4 of an hour for 6 3/4 miles. So for 1 hour, she is able to go 9 miles, which makes more sense than saying 3/20ths of a mile. That's only part of a mile. So we also could have had 9 miles per hour, and they had the same speed. So both girls, Izzy and Julia, had the same pace of 9 miles per hour. And we're assuming there that they have a proportional relationship, meaning they're keeping the same pace. It's not changing any. Okay, so for our next example, example number 2. A turtle walks 7/8 of a mile in 50 minutes. What is the unit rate? Remember, that means we have a denominator of 1. When the turtle's speed is expressed in miles per hour, we're given minutes here and we want per hour here. So to find the turtle's unit rate, Meredith wrote the following complex fraction. Explain how the fraction 5/6 was obtained. Okay, so a complex fraction is a fraction whose numerator or denominator or both are fractions. So this is a complex fraction. Okay. In the top we have 7/8 of a mile. Okay, so the 7/8 is coming from the number of miles. In 50 minutes. So we know that the bottom, it's miles per minute, but we were looking for miles per hour. So therefore, 50 minutes is what we have. And so we're having to change it to the number of hours. So 50 minutes per hour, there's 60 minutes in an hour. And that simplifies. Both of them can be divided by 10, giving me 5/6. So this 5/6 is coming from how much per hour. It's 5/6